All right. I'm starting. Can you see? Never mind. That's a stupid question.
I can still see your Jabber icon.
Oh. Oh, come on.
That's better though.
Oopsies. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're going to get started in a few minutes. While we're waiting, can everyone put in the chat where they're tuning in from? I want to just know where everyone is right now. All of the people tuning in, can everyone hear a high-pitched noise? Our panelists are hearing it, but I want to know if anyone else can hear it. Yes, we can. Okay. No. Stein, you might not be able to hear it then. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Is the noise annoying? That's the question. It's okay. If I'm talking, can anyone hear it?
We're having a little
minor. Okay. I actually think it might be my Surface. Okay, we can't hear the noise. It's okay. Okay. Well, if it ever gets bothersome, please let me know. I obviously don't want a high-pitched noise ruining your experience while watching this webinar. Well, thanks everyone for telling me where you're tuning in from. So we got some people from Alaska, India, Chandler, Tempe, Bisbee. Ooh, Bisbee, nice. Washington, awesome. Florida. How cool. Everyone, so from everywhere. I love it. Well, all right, everyone. We have enough people here, so we'll just get started. We want to first thank everyone for tuning in. I know it's early for some, later for others, so we really appreciate everyone coming to view this webinar. So we're going to be just going over some next steps. It's fairly general information. However, we hope that it will outline some things that you need to do, or just assure you that you've already done everything that you need to do or are working towards what you need to do. So welcome everyone, and I'll pass it off to Christy to get us started.
All right, so go ahead and move on to the next slide and I'll do some introductions. So on the call with us today, we've got myself. I am a graduate coordinator here at the design school. Corey, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Corey. I know most of you know Christy and I, but we also have Jackie Collins here too, but I'm a coordinator senior at the design school. So Christy and I help all the design graduate programs through the application through your graduation. So we will be your people in regards to advising moving forward. And then Jackie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. As Corey and Christy said, my name is Jackie. I'm also a graduate coordinator with the design school, but I work primarily with our Master of Science in Innovation and Venture Development. So if you are going to that program, then I am going to be your main point of contact for all things advising.
Awesome. Well, first, congratulations again, because I know you were admitted last year, but now you're going to be joining us this year, and we're so excited to have you. We're going to just outline some things that we want to make sure that you know, since you didn't join us last year, but we just want to thank you so much. We know it's been a really tough year, but we're so excited for you to join us this summer or fall, and we're going to just go through some information to help them make that process easier for you. So first, some of you have received your updated admission offer letter. So if you have not, don't worry, we are working on getting all that out to you right now. We're waiting on a few admission committees to give us some updated information, but for the most part, those letters are out. So within that email you got, there is a link that is embedded to fill out this form that we have pictured here as an example. So we need to know if you're going to be accepting your offer or not. That will let us know if you're actually planning to join us, so we can put you on the correct mailing lists in order to get you the information that you need. So please do that. If you have any questions, go ahead and email Design Grad or email Jackie directly in order to get that information to you. In your offer letter, there may be some updated information in terms of funding opportunities, but we also have an updated link for our open house event. So be on the lookout for that as well. If you have not received this yet, or you have lost the link, just let us know. And then the deadline to give us your admission decision is April 15th, just to let us know that you're planning on coming. We understand that some things might happen, but letting us know what your intentions are definitely going to help us in the process of getting you the correct information.
And you may likely have done this already, but just in case you haven't, you want to make sure that you're able to access your My ASU. When you first submitted your graduate application, you would have received an ASU, right? If you can't find this in your email, it's a good idea to check your junk mail, but you're going to need this in order to log into your My ASU. If it's your first time logging on, you'll need to activate your My ASU and request an ID. If you can't find your ASU right information, or if you have logged in before and you're having trouble accessing your My ASU, you can always reach out to ASU Help Center, and there are people over there who will be able to help you with your My ASU access. And once you get logged in, there are going to be some priority tasks over on the right-hand side that you'll want to start paying attention to. A lot of them are things that you will likely need to get done before you start your program, whether you're starting in the summer or the fall. So if you're an international student coming into the program, you're going to have priority tasks there for your student documents, like your I-20 and that sort of thing. All students that are in campus-based programs will need to provide proof of MMR immunizations. So if you click on that priority task there in your My ASU, you'll see information on how to submit that. You'll see other priority tasks like how to submit your degree certificate or official transcripts, especially if you were admitted based on unofficial transcripts. You'll want to get those submitted by the end of your first semester in the program. And you'll also be able to see in your priority task there that fall registration is now open.
So most of our programs will be beginning in the fall semester, but some of them begin in the summer. So an important thing to note for the Master of Architecture and Master of Landscape Architecture, the program has decided to do away with the summer term. So these are now 3-year programs and not 3+ programs. They will begin in the fall semester, not the summer. The Master of Interior Architecture, Master of Industrial Design, and Master of Visual Communication Design, they still have their summer semester at the beginning of the program. So they will be starting in this summer. MSIBD will begin in the fall. All of other design 2-year programs will also begin in the fall, as well as the PhD program. And our fall semester begins August 19th. So there are a few different types of visas that you may be on, and different requirements for each. So the F1 student visa is the most common visa that's issued to full-time students. So you need to be either funded by personal or outside funds, or a combination of the two, to be eligible for the F1 status. And if you're on this visa, you will get a CVIS form I-20. And you'll have to submit documents prior to after getting accepted in order to get that I-20. There's also a J1 student visa. This is for students at all academic levels, but for these students, a substantial portion of your funding will come from a source other than your personal finances. So oftentimes it'd be a home institution or government sponsorship. So if you're applying for this visa, instead you're going to request a Form DS 2019 and have to submit documents for that. And then there's also an F2 dependent visa for graduate students. This is a non-immigrant visa that allows dependent spouses and children of F1 student visa holders to enter the US and enroll in education. So with this visa, you'll only be allowed to attend as a part-time student, and at the graduate level, this means you can register for up to 8 credits for the spring and fall terms. And for more information about any of these, you can contact ISSC or the Graduate College. We're happy to put you in touch with any of those departments, and we'll have our contact information at the end of the presentation.
So we're going to go very briefly over this. I realize that not all students on this call are international, but we have a familiarity with the process at this point. So we're going to briefly outline what is required for the I-20 process. So as Jackie and Christy mentioned, there will be holds on your My ASU depending on what kind of student that you are. And then the next decision is trying to figure out what visa you will be applying for. So once you are admitted into the program, you will be filling out your financial guarantee form. So I realize that students, all the students on this call, if you're international, got admitted last year and may have gotten an I-20 sent to them already the previous year. So you will need a new I-20 in order to have the valid dates on there in order to make your visa appointment and enter into the United States. So with this financial guarantee form, you will need to provide bank statements. So there is a specific number that you need to meet in order to provide financial support or proof of your financial support. And that will be included on the financial guarantee form, and then those bank statements will need to support that. Then you'll need to upload a copy of your passport. And then that is when you request your initial CVIS Form I-20, or if you're coming on a different visa, the DS 2019. Or if you already have a visa and you're already a student at another university, you'll need to get a transfer CVIS form. So next, you'll be reviewing your CVIS Form I-20 or Form DS 2019 once you receive it, and then the process and payment will happen after that. This is a really important link on the bottom. It outlines everything that you need to do in great detail. We're also happy to help you through that process. However, graduate admissions is the department that processes these. There's specific emails and contact information if you have specific questions about your profile that we're happy to put you in contact with. But if you need some guidance or further information, this link right at the bottom is going to be very helpful to you. And then Christy or Jackie, could one of you post that in the chat for me? Just that link. Thank you. So timeline. So depending on if you are going to be arriving this summer or this fall, here are the various deadlines that you need to meet. So that link that we're going to provide in the chat for you that Christy just put in, thank you, Christy, that will also bring you to this timeline as well. So for summer, the first day that you can be issued a I-20 is January 11th. So obviously that has happened already, but the final day is April 16th. So if you are planning on coming this summer, make sure you're getting all those forms and providing those financial documents to support in order to begin the process. And then for fall, the final day is July 19th. So there definitely is plenty of time. But obviously with a lot of students trying to get into the United States and apply for visas, getting on top of this now is better than later, as I'm sure everyone knows who is going through the process.
Okay, and so then another thing that you will likely be looking for information on as you get close to your program start is registration. The image that's in the top right corner of the screen on this page is a preview of what your registration date information is going to look like when you log into your My ASU. So every student has a specific registration date that you can find by clicking on the specific semester that you're looking to register for. You will likely see when you log in that summer and fall registration is now open. Good news for design and the MSIBD programs, all of the required courses are reserved for our students, so no worries about making sure that you can get into those courses. And once you accept the admissions offer that was discussed earlier, we will send you information related to the required courses that you need to take. You can find those courses as well as elective options and other courses you might be interested in via the class search. There's also a link to the class search in your My ASU, and the image at the bottom of the screen is a preview of what the class search looks like, the information that you can input to find the courses that you're looking for.
So very important to kind of keep in mind and reference back to is the academic calendar, and you can see the link at the top there. This is where you're going to find all kinds of dates and deadlines for each semester. So registration dates, drop add deadlines, tuition fee payment deadlines, most importantly, any breaks and holidays that we have, your final exam week, as well as commencement. So I recommend bookmarking this, especially when you're getting registered for classes, just so you know, especially those drop add deadlines, so you know when you have to have your schedule really finalized. So scholarships, we get a lot of questions about these. So there's several different kinds of scholarships. So some scholarships we have are reserved for the recruitment process, and you do not need to apply for these separately to be considered for them. These are based on the strength of your application, and they will be distributed by the admissions committees to especially strong applicants. So these will be presented to you in your offer letter from the design school. If you did not see a paragraph in your offer letter, that means you didn't get one. So just be aware that it is in that attached offer letter to in that email we sent out. There are other scholarships though that you can apply for separately. You can search for Design in the Arts Herberger Institute to find design specific scholarships that we offer. These are open typically October through January. And then there's other scholarships as well through ASU. So at the scholarships.asu.edu link at the bottom there, you can search for them. Just note that if they are need-based, they are going to require a FAFSA on file, and that means that they're only available to domestic students. So just when you're searching for these, kind of pay attention to eligibility requirements and also their deadlines.
So teaching assistantships. So these are highly sought after because of their benefits. They're really great. So if you were offered one in your offer letter, so that means that there's a guarantee position for you within your first academic year, which is really great news. Congratulations. However, if you didn't get that in your offer letter, that is okay. You still have a chance to apply and you will be considered. We try and give students at least one TA position during their program. If you're a design-based student, we're still working on the kinks with the MSIBD, but there certainly is availability for funding. So with the benefits, there is tuition remission, which is really great for out-of-state and international students because you get reduced to an in-state tuition rate, and that's a 50% reduction off of the in-state. So there is also a stipend that you are paid for the semester you are a TA. Right now it is around $4,600, so that is about $400 every 2 weeks as of now. However, that amount can change. It has been going up every year. So don't hold me to that number. It might change, but you certainly will receive a stipend. So the duties that are typically involved with a TA position do range depending on your assignment. However, you're providing a general assistance to the instructor. So this may include some lecturing, leading discussion groups, grading, tutoring students, holding office hours. And these positions are a 0.25, which means there's 10 hours a week required for you to work with the instructor to support the course. This link right here on the bottom is where you can find all of the teaching assistantship information. For international students, there are requirements for English proficiency. So please review those before you apply. If you don't meet the requirements, please let us know and we can try and advise you on how to meet those requirements. But as soon as you also get to ASU campus, there's a few options for you that we can recommend. So as I mentioned, there are some TA positions reserved during the recruitment process. So if you do get one of those, it'll be listed in your offer letter that you should have received already. And you can also apply for those positions like I mentioned. So every application cycle is open January 15th through May 15th. So as people are admitted, everyone on this call should have gotten an email already saying that the application is open. If you have not, please let me know. I'm happy to send that along to you. So there's plenty of time to still apply. So 3+ or 3-year students are not eligible for the first year of their program. That is because you're still building that foundational knowledge for design. The TA positions support undergraduate courses, so we want to make sure that the students that are TAing have that foundational knowledge in order to really teach our undergrad students. So that is something to keep in mind as you're applying. Unfortunately, if you do apply within that range, you will not be eligible. However, once you are eligible, you will receive the email from me in your future terms in order to apply. And like I said, international students must meet an English language requirement. All of that is outlined on our website that we had linked. And then you must maintain a 3.0 GPA in order to be a TA.
Another source of funding that might be available to you is a fellowship. These are offered directly through ASU's Graduate College, and they're available both to incoming and current students. Important thing to know about fellowships is that you must be nominated by the design school. This is not a type of award that you can apply to directly. If you do believe that you're eligible for a graduate college fellowship, please feel free to reach out to us either at the Design Grad email or to me at MSIBD in order to find out about being nominated. And then you can also find out more specific information about the fellowships at the link that is at the bottom of this screen.
Okay, so the Western Regional Graduate Program, or WRGP, is a really great opportunity for students who are living in the gold states on the map on the screen here. If you live and can prove residency for the last 2 years in one of these states, you can qualify for 150% of in-state tuition. So this is a reduction from a non-resident tuition rate. If you, the link at the bottom is where you'll find more information about it. And go ahead and move to the next slide. So a few things to note about WRGP. So ASU is the only Arizona university to partner with WRGP for our design graduate degrees, which is very exciting. Only select programs are eligible. So all of our design school programs, except for MSIBD at this time, are eligible for this. If you're pursuing concurrent programs, you can only apply if both programs have been approved. Online and doctoral programs are not eligible for the WRGP. And again, you need to have maintained residency in your home state, one of those gold states that were on the map, for a minimum of 2 years. And this shows the really simple application. It's a 1-page document. It's very straightforward. And then the application deadlines for each of the semesters. So for fall, that'd be June 1st, and summer, April 1st.
You can find information about pretty much everything that we've just covered in terms of financials, as well as other financial aid opportunities at the link on this page. This is to ASU's General Financial Aid website. You'll be able to find information here about need-based awards, as well as information about how to file your FAFSA. Students are encouraged to file the FAFSA by the priority filing deadline, which is typically in January. However, I would definitely say if you have not filed your FAFSA yet, it's definitely a good idea to do so anyway. We would strongly encourage you to file your FAFSA at any time, even if you do miss the priority filing deadline. The FAFSA, as I believe Christy mentioned earlier, is only available to domestic students. International students can find other helpful information at the link at the bottom of the screen for financial aid information for international students.
So student jobs, a lot of students I know are in need of work in order to support themselves through college. And we certainly recommend student jobs on campus being an option for students. So I know international students look for student jobs because they can work legally, which is really great. So we have the link posted here in order to find that portal in order to look at what is available. So studies show that students who work up to 20 hours per week attending college do as well or better in school than those who don't work. And students can work up to 20 hours a week during the semester, whether you're domestic or international. And then they can work up to 40 hours a week during the summer and winter break. So you can work at a higher rate during those time periods. For international students, student jobs do not interfere with CPT, and you'll become more familiar with CPT if you're required to do an internship. This is a process that we partner with you and ISSC in order to make sure that you can legally work in the United States. So that's something that we're very familiar with. So if you have any questions, let us know. And then students with a TA position can only work 10 hours a week at a student job during the semester that they are a TA. So 10 hours for a TA, 10 hours for a student job. You can only work 20 hours total with both of those positions. Open house. So we are going to be doing an open house virtual event for all of our accepted students on March 23rd. So we sent out information yesterday about our open house. So for MSIBD students, they're going to be doing something early in the summer. So be on the lookout for that invitation. For the design programs open house, there will be first a program-led session by the program head and some current students. So they will be running that session in the morning. And then followed by that, Christy and I will be running a general webinar presentation for you all just to get you acclimated with some of the ASU policies and resources that are available to you. Then the next day, the 24th, there's going to be a lecture. So the interior design department has run this lecture series. So there'll be a lecture the following day that we have linked for you all to RSVP to. Not a required component, but you can certainly see what kind of things are happening at the school. So one of that online lecture series is one of the things that we're running right now. So you are welcome to join us in that.
So our contact information, each of our individual email addresses are listed here, as well as our direct lines. What we generally recommend students use, though, are the big bold email addresses in the middle. This is designgrad@asu.edu. Corey and I both monitor this account. So if somebody's out of the office or sick, your email will always get looked at. And then MSIBD@asu.edu, that's general inquiries about the MSIBD program. Jackie monitors that. So we recommend using these email addresses when you're contacting us. And then we're located in the College of Design North, room 162, when we're all back on campus. So we recommend, if you haven't already, please follow us on Instagram. Our handle is here. This is a great way to keep up to date with events going on at the school, student projects, just kind of all of the comings and goings of the design school, kind of get a taste for what you can expect when you are a student here.
The MSIBD program also has one too, Jackie. If you want to put the line or the name in the chat, that'd be great as well.
Questions?
Yeah. So
type them in the Q&A box.
One thing that I already saw in the chat, which is a really great question, and we forgot to mention, is what programs are STEM right now? So the Master of Architecture is STEM, the MSIBD program is STEM, so the Master of Science and Innovation and Venture Development, then the Master of Industrial Design, and the Master of Landscape Architecture. So if you are part of those programs, they are STEM designated. So there's numerous benefits for that for international students, but also domestic. So definitely make sure that you're planning accordingly if you are a part of a STEM program. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see the chat. Awesome. And Jackie linked the MSIBD Instagram as well. So if you want to keep on top of that, please do. All right.
I will say that our Instagram is not particularly active at the moment, but we hope that it will be in the future. You can find information about our events at the Design School Instagram page as well, though.
Yes, yes. All right, so Pauline has a question. She said, I applied for the TA position as mentioned in the session. When will I know if I'll be offered one? So that's a great question. As of right now, we have a bunch of different curriculum coming through the pipeline. So we are kind of redesigning what our TA positions, what kind of courses they'll be supporting. We're in the midst of that right now. I hope to start making assignments in April or May. So we'll hopefully be getting that information to you within, a month or two. But I appreciate your patience, Pauline. I know that you and I have corresponded over TAs for quite some time. So I will hopefully have that information for you sooner rather than later. All right, so Stein has a question. Due to COVID, are summer and fall classes optioned for virtual attendance, or is physical attendance now mandatory at the first class session? So that's a really great question. As of right now, we've only been given guidance from ASU that they will be pushing for fall in-person attendance. The summer, I think, is more up to the program. So I actually spoke to a few program heads this past week about what they're thinking, and they're still talking with their faculty who are going to be, running the summer session. So as soon as we have that information, we will let you know. But I imagine for the summer, there will be a remote attendance option if you're not able to get here. So we're certainly not we don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. We understand that this is a situation that is still very important to make sure that we have safety precautions and protocols. So we certainly will not be making anyone attend in person if they are not comfortable. So once we get actual clarity on what the summer sessions will look like, most likely the programs will want to hold their own session. I hope and will encourage the programs to at least have a plan when they are doing those sessions for the open house event. So hopefully you'll get more information during those sessions if you're able to attend. And then Rishi, so the class will be held in person, right? Yes, I imagine so, that the class will be held in person on campus. However, that may range from instructor to instructor. So we'll see what happens, but there will be certainly both options, I'm sure.
So there is a question here about whether the school will have vaccines available to students by the summer or fall semester. So ASU is following the guidelines set out by the state of Arizona in terms of who is eligible for vaccines. So we'll be following any guidance that comes from the provost from way high up in terms of that. But generally there's the hope that by that time, general population will be eligible for vaccines.
Then we have another question. Are TA positions offered for PhD applicants? So yes, there are recruitment TA positions that are offered through that process. So I am still waiting on the PhD program is one of the programs that I'm still waiting on information for to send out updated letters. So if you are offered a TA position, it will be outlined in that letter. However, PhD applicants will be evaluated just as like any other master's degree student. So there certainly is a TA positions available for the PhD program. And then there's another question here. So if I've submitted my MMR info and transcripts last year, do I need to repeat this again? No, you do not. ASU will have those on file. I don't believe it'll even be a hold on your My ASU anymore, but if I'm wrong, Stein, please let me know. We can follow.
Look at your priority task just to make sure it's.
Go ahead and look to make sure that they've processed it, but they shouldn't be on your priority tasks anymore if you've already done so. All right, another question. Does ASU provide students with a letter for later arrival if it is needed? So the department can certainly write you one if you feel like you need it, but also ISSC and the Graduate Admissions Office will provide you some sort of letter. I know that they did that a lot last year as well. So if you need something like that, just let us know and we can get you in contact with someone. So I'm from Argentina and I don't think I will be vaccinated in my country before going to the US. What should we do regarding the immunization? So it's not a requirement once you, I mean, at least not at this point, for you to be vaccinated. So if you're talking about the COVID-19 vaccine, you are certainly welcome to still join the ASU community. In regards to your MMR info, you will need that on file. If you need, a temporary lift of that hold just to register, we can certainly help you with that, but you will need to make sure that those are on file. Christy?
And also Health Services does provide those vaccines. So if you need one, you can get one done at ASU Health Services.
Yes, thank you for that. I hope that answers your question. If not, please let me know. Any other questions?
So when do we register for classes? So summer and fall registration is now open. You should, after you accept your offer, using the link that was sent with your offer letter, you will be sent shortly, probably within about a week, information about registration. We're holding right now on some of the summer courses, so that information should be sent out within probably the next week or so. But again, we hold seats in all of your required courses, so there's no rush to go out and get registered right away when registration opens. You can wait until we send you that email with the list of classes that you're going to be required to take.
All right, so we have a WRGB question. Jackie, you want me to answer this?
I can take this one. So this is about the WRGP for MSIBD students. As Christy mentioned, MSIBD currently is not part of the WRGP program, and the question is whether or not this will change for the fall semester. Unfortunately, at this time, I don't believe that we will be eligible for WRGP by this coming fall, but we will certainly keep trying to get the program designated in the future.
Yes, definitely a priority. I'm waiting on receiving the offer letter. Should I expect it this week? Yes, I hope so. We are working with a few specific programs to get those letters out. So if you haven't received it yet, we really hope that we get those to you by the end of this week or early next week. People are saying thank you. You're welcome. We're really happy to do this. Honestly, I'm so incredibly excited to meet people in person. We've been talking with you for about a year now, which just seems crazy, and I can't wait to meet everyone once we're all back on campus. So we have about 5 minutes or so left. So if you still have questions, please let us know. We'll continue to answer them as they roll in. So Pauline, if I remember correctly, you're part of the PhD program. So that is one of the programs that I have not gotten the updated information on. As soon as I do, which I've been sending reminders, I will be sending out that information to you. So you have not received your acceptance link yet. So I will be hopefully sending out this week or next. So I promise it's on my priorities to do so.
There's also a question about, will MMR antibodies report suffice? I would go ahead and email immunizations@asu.edu. If you click on your My ASU priority task where it lists the MMR immunization, it'll have that email address listed as well as phone number. Go ahead and call them. They're the experts on what they're looking for, and just make sure that report will satisfy what they want.
So are these classes going to be remote or face-to-face? So for the fall semester, ASU is saying that we're going to do in-person classes, obviously with all the safety protocols in place, but they will be in person. We haven't really gotten any further information other than saying that that's the intention. Obviously it could change, but as of now, that's what we're being told. And I gotta say, campus has been pretty not busy, and I'm very excited for it to get busier.
Very quiet.
Some of us are on and off campus, and I've never seen it so quiet. So we are certainly looking forward to more students back on campus.
If you're an MSIBD student, you might already know that we have spaces in a brand new building on the Tempe campus. And it has been very sad to see that building so quiet because it's a very nice space. So I'm very excited.
One of the most gorgeous buildings on campus. So MSIBD students are in very good hands. Very pretty space.
Yes, very excited to see it used more.
Yes, I agree. Oh, you're very welcome. So any virtual tour soon? So we actually do have virtual tours available already. We worked on that. So we can, we'll send a link out, but also when I send out this recording, I'll make sure that we include that link as well. Just so you can just kind of see the buildings a little bit. So that's something that we did put together, so we can link that for you. Then we have another question. So as a TA, are we eligible to be vaccinated? So all the spring 2021 TAs were eligible to be vaccinated. I know quite a few of the TAs were able to get their vaccination. I imagine that that is going to continue. ASU has been opening up some sites to get vaccinated, but also we've been encouraged to go to the Arizona Department of Health. They have a stadium open that I went and got vaccinated in. Christy got vaccinated at ASU, and then Jackie got vaccinated at the stadium. So all the staff have been going to various places, but I hope that there will be ASU will be continuing to roll out some other opportunities for vaccinations. I imagine that that will happen, but to simply answer the question, yes, TAs will be eligible.
So this a question about the virtual tour. It says mine is the MID course. So the virtual tour that I linked in the chat, that's for the entire design school. So it's going to go over a lot of the labs and resources, the different shops that all students will have access to. It'll also show what studios generally look like. It's not specific to any program, but a lot of the things there will be different spaces that you'll be using.
And we're actually in the midst of updating it to include the MSIBD spaces. So once that's done, we will send it out for the MSIBD students too. When we originally made this, some of the buildings that were brand new and they weren't ready yet. So we're adding the updated spaces to that tour. And one thing I'll mention with the virtual tour is the really thing that will differ is what studio you're in for your program, but all the other resources are open to all students. So you'll have access to all of it. So there's really no need to do specific program tours because the two design buildings plus Novus are open to our students. All right, we have a minute or two left. Any last questions? Oh, here we go. How do I search for the classes that I need to register for the MID on the registration portal? Also, you mentioned that we will get a list of classes that we need to register for. How do we get that? So if you accepted your offer, your admission offer in the link that we provided in the email, you will shortly after receive a list of your courses that you need to register in. So I'm not sure if you already accepted the offer. If you have not done so, please do so. There's typically a day or two that it'll take for us to get those courses out to you, but you will certainly receive them within the same week. And then Christy in the chat just linked the catalog search that you can look the classes up. Like we said, all of the courses are reserved for you that are required. So obviously once you register, right when you get that information and you get all your holds resolved, but we will have space for you.
And I'll just add that once you do get the classes that you need to register for, there is a link to the class search right in your My ASU, so you can always go back there and find that once you're ready to register.
Yes. All right, a minute left. Well, I just want to thank all of our panelists for their time this morning and their expertise. And then thank you to all of you for showing up and being a part of the ASU community. We're really excited to have you join us, and we can't wait to meet you in person. So please let us know if you have any questions. I'll be sending out this recorded webinar after I receive the recording, but we'll be in touch, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their day or evening or whatever time zone you're in. We hope that you are well and safe, and thanks again, Christy and Jackie.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.